Hey gang, welcome to the Sneakerphiles podcast. I'm your host Eugene. You can find us online at Sneakerphiles, SneakerPhiles.com, on Twitter at Sneakerphiles, and on Instagram at Sneakerphiles_podcast. You can also listen to this podcast on iTunes. Just search Sneakerphiles, and if you would please subscribe, rate, and review, that would be greatly appreciated. This week, Peirre, Joe, Kurtz, and I discussed a couple of new releases that had happened over the week, such as the Ultra Boost Uncaged PARLEY and the newly announced price tag of the Hyperadapt 1.0 and what we think of that astronomical price. Also, we discuss a local incident involving a lineup of the Black Toe ones and another one of these situations where more than a single party claimed to be the first in line, and we get to talk about who's right, who's wrong, exactly how to deal with a situation like this. In fact, we were able to hold an emergency Sneakerphiles Court case involving the two parties, and you will definitely want to listen to both sides. You might be really surprised with the outcome and the final verdict of this case. Finally, if you are interested in the Soul Exchange Canada's Ultimate Sneaker Show Holiday 2016 kickoff happening on December 17th in the Vancouver Convention Center, you definitely want to listen all the way to the end of this episode. We discuss a few interesting details that we would like to announce, and if you are actually planning on going, you definitely want to listen and make sure that you take advantage of a special promotion that we are providing for attendees. And as usual, enjoy the show. Hey gang, welcome to the Sneakerphiles podcast. I'm your host Eugene, and to my right,
Jason,
Peirre,
and Joe.
We're all here, full panel again. How do you guys feel?
West side, homie.
Maybe that will be our new tagline. Right?
It sounds like it.
So
we're full of panel.
It seems like it's only been a week since me, Peirre, and Jay has recorded, but Joe just got back.
Welcome back, Joe.
Joe was away for the last episode, so welcome back, Joe. You guys picked up anything the last week since we've recorded? It's only been a week.
Yeah, I know.
And nothing's come out, even though the
Eugene, you picked up two, I bet.
What are you talking about?
STIs.
No. 2 STIs. You mean the car?
No,
Yes.
the other one.
The car.
Funnily enough, even though nothing has come out the last week of interest to me, because for some reason it's like a bye week for us in the sneaker world.
Doesn't come around often.
Not in
that's
November,
helpful.
not in December.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I got a little tip off, and because I follow Kicksteel, oh my God, you're gonna go there?
Well, just want to know if he's. Never mind.
I follow Kicksteel CA, shout out, and his tweets are always on notifications for me, and my phone did a little push notice. Took a look, and he was selling a personal pair for retail to me, and the latest pair that I've paid for and I'm awaiting for shipping is the Adidas NMD City Sock White Mountaineering.
Whoa.
So I got a pair of those,
Nice.
and I fully intend to wear this pair. And hopefully
Right.
they fit exactly the way that I intend them to. Because the NMD sizing, we all know it's kind of a nightmare. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Some colorways, some fits are a little bigger, some are smaller, some are wider, some are more narrow. It's really hard to say. But the once or twice that I've met him, we have talked about how we should be fairly equal in shoe sizes. So hopefully, because he says they fit him perfectly, they'll fit me. So just
Are
the
you guys
one.
the same shoe size?
Yeah, so that helps me quite a bit, actually.
Interesting.
A lot of times he is able to pick up multiple pairs in his size, and I do ask him if he could hook me up once in a while. So, I don't know, man.
Just put him on the spot.
No.
A little bit.
Not that at all. It's just that I have, you
Same
know,
size feet.
Exactly. So it seems like the more people you know in your circle that are the same size, the easier it is for you in the long run to cop certain shoes. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Team size 9
Yeah, good luck
out
with
there.
that. Team size 9.
9.5.
All right, we got quite a diverse. None of us are the same size, so we
No.
can never help each other out, right?
Well,
Well,
we could. Yeah.
if we don't want the same shoe, we could put in for each other like a civilized group would do.
No,
Yeah.
that would never happen.
It's better than putting
Whoa.
out for each other.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or
All
we
right.
could just say screw it to each other and just.
West side, homie.
We should do that. Well, you know what? That
Never
is
gets old.
that is a very popular sound clip from a video that was uploaded in a Facebook group locally. We'll get into that a little later. But first, there's just a couple of news items or release items I want to talk about really quickly, just because the topic of the week is of very high interest to me, and I want to get into that as quick as possible. So let's get into the news.
He just put his tea down.
It's coffee. So Joe was highly interested in this pair that we're about to talk about, okay?
I have a
Because
feeling that I'm not.
well, he is an environmentalist, okay? Can we say that?
Oh, that pair. I thought you were going to throw
No,
the
no,
other
no.
pair at
No,
me, which
not
I
yet, not
clearly
yet.
didn't. Yep.
So this company seems to be heading to into a direction where it's either a very effective marketing move or they are actually environmentally conscious when it comes to their future products. And we all love the Adidas Ultra Boost. All of us love the Ultra Boost.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
This is a boost I can get behind. That's what I'm saying.
But the pair in question is the Adidas Ultra Boost. I think it's uncaged, right?
Yes,
As
it
far as
is.
I know.
Yep.
Uncaged. It's
Uncaged.
the PARLEY. PARLEY. How do you spell that?
I'm gonna guess PARLEY.
All right, let's go with that. And what is so special about this shoe, Joe?
It's made out of recycled plastics
Nice.
taken from the ocean.
So it's literally like that episode on The Simpsons when Lisa and Mr. Burns formed that
I
company.
do remember that. Yeah.
And they used those 6-pack thingies on top of the sodas to
Yep.
catch all the ocean
And
wildlife.
Barney was licking the windows.
Yes,
'cause it was
yes.
made out of.
So it seems like they were inspired by The Simpsons. Simpsons did it first.
Maybe.
So they were inspired by The Simpsons to make this shoe. And the look of it, what do you guys think of at least like the look of the shoe?
Cool. I like it.
It's
Different.
It's like white.
It's pretty
grayish.
clean.
Yeah.
It's super clean.
Man, you know what? From now on, we cannot describe a shoe as being clean
Why?
anymore,
What's
okay?
wrong with?
That is so fucking vanilla.
Is it?
Yeah, man.
Vanilla is also not acceptable. Ring that bell.
No vanilla.
Thanks,
no
Joe.
clean. So I want to get away from the most ordinary terms when it comes to describing a
But-
shoe.
oh,
Now that I've taken
wow.
clean off the slate, how would you describe this shoe?
Oh man, nice lines.
I think you would use the word legit.
Yeah.
Legit? Okay, we can do legit for a few more episodes before that gets tiring.
No.
So from now on, we're not gonna, because every time I hear in like a YouTube video, other podcasts, they talk about a shoe being very nice. They say it's so clean. What does that mean? Does that
Really?
mean like
How about delicately interlaced, resting on a bed of boost?
To me, super clean means it's just minimal. There's no frills on it. What are you shaking your head, Eugene?
I was just saying that you're describing plain and boring to me
Really? Eh?
when you say minimal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the new buzzword, though. You know what I mean? That's what people are saying now to sell things that are plain that way, like triple whites. Triple white anything, man. That's a clean shoe.
Okay, I'll put it this
that
way.
shoe is literally white noise.
The Air Jordan 1 top 3, the quote unquote what the Jordan 1.
Which colors were those again?
The Concords, the fragments.
Welcome back, Joe.
He never forgets. But like I've heard people describe that shoe as clean.
Oh, those people can just take a
See,
hike.
but that's
See, I want to take that out of the common catchphrases of how we describe shoes. You know, back when you were a teenager, now I'm just saying this because it's what I remember. When you disapprove something, you automatically go, that's gay. That's gay. You know, I want to take that out of our context of conversation.
Sneakerphiles podcast supports the LGBTQT community.
Shout out. And I want to start using more interesting descriptions. What's that word again?
Fresh.
No. Adjectives of describing shoes. Okay, no more clean. And if I hear any more bullshit vanilla terms, I'm gonna ring the bell again. Okay,
Fair enough.
what I think of this shoe is it's very unique. Okay, even though we've seen similar colorways and makeup of the shoe before, it is still different enough for me to get behind endorsing such a interesting colorway combination. We've seen teal shoes before, or whatever, or aqua or whatever it is, but they do have some very unique lines and patterning on the heel tab that it looks like it's going to be uniquely identifiable with the other Uncaged Ultra Boost. Is it clean?
I concur.
Fuck, ring that bell.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say that.
Out of the vocabulary. No more clean.
I'm looking at it again so I can say what I think about it, but I still think that it has some nice clean lines. But
No, ring the bell. You just said clean again.
no, we said that we
not-
can do clean lines
Clean
for
lines.
another
No,
week.
it's
Blurred lines.
simplistic.
Okay, let's just go straight to the to the Rotten Tomatoes review. Okay, is it sick or basic?
We got to come up with new terminology.
Oh my God, here we go.
Can't just have sick and
You
basic.
had some other ones, didn't you?
I did have.
Okay, you give me one.
Is it awesome or toss'em?
All right,
Yep.
all right.
Yeah.
Yep, I threw up in my mouth a little bit when you said that, but that means it's good.
Okay.
Oh,
It means good.
What, is that how you decide
Well, it's
something's
like I'm
good?
so
if you
on-
puke it in your mouth?
Such a reaction.
Oh,
Any
okay.
reaction's good.
Okay,
All right,
well,
all
that's
right.
good.
So
all right.
what would you
Awesome
rate
or
this?
toss?
Ooh, that's even more appropriate because it's made from tossed garbage plastic.
All right, all
Ah,
right. I
there we
see.
see.
I
See, it's all.
Did you guys
full-
actually
full
see this,
circle?
the
Full
picture of the
circle.
shoes?
Yeah, I did look at the shoe when we were discussing what the shoe looked like.
Yeah, I was just imagining the shoe, making it up in my head.
It's ingrained in my mind. I already.
Do you
know
think
what
it was made with fragment colors and Concord colors and shattered backboard colors?
What the Ultra Boost?
That, Let me ask you that heel tab.
What the garbage plastic shoe?
Is that it? It seems it has grooves on it, so it does
It
that
may be woven. I'm all for it because
I just-
people have been losing their mind over like the potential for 3D printed shoes, and we
Yeah.
saw it with like Adidas has done it with their whatever Minecraft. I'm
It's
throwing shade at
no,
Adidas.
no, yeah,
it's
no,
the
it's,
Adidas Craft or whatever.
The Future Craft.
Future
Future
Craft.
Craft, yeah,
Made for Germany
Exactly. I think
versions,
New
yeah.
Balance was throwing something out there as well that
Yeah.
looked like it was cornbread.
That was
sole.
also 3D
Cornbread.
printed.
I know,
New
that's what I
Balance
mean.
is exploring that territory.
I would
Under-
rather
Under
have,
Armour as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I prefer that someone is looking to an alternative source. For me, it's a flashback. I kind of remember because my mom was a teacher. I remember that people were all kind of grossed out when people discussed recycled paper coming in. Like, oh, it's going to be brown. It's going
Right.
to be, it's not going to be white. We
Unappealing.
need white paper for printing purposes, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, now, boxes, everything's done with like 60% post-consumer waste recycled paper.
Right.
We have clearly enough garbage out there to make dope shoes.
All right.
And I approve.
Yeah.
I approved that move before. Let's see what that can do before people are out there.
But you know that theory that a Prius leaves a higher carbon footprint to produce than a Hummer? You know-
that's not true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's
no,
what
I
I've
know-
heard.
I know the theory.
But what do you think about producing the shoe? Is it going to be more detrimental resourcefully than making a standard sneaker?
Possibly in the beginning, but
Okay.
in the long
once they
run,
get that shit together, right?
yeah. Once
Okay.
it's just like
The J23 kind of did this thing too, right? Where
Yeah.
they used
Like
recycled,
different
no,
easy-
renewable materials, or
yeah,
whatever
and
it is.
less harmful adhesives and things
Exactly.
like that.
So I'm all for what it stands for, and I have a feeling most of the people that want it don't really care about the message they're trying to send. Okay, all those pretty pictures of the shoes that we've seen of the dude in the shoes standing in front of the water, that's all nice and shit. But besides marketing, I think people want this shoe because it's again, it's limited.
I was just
Limited.
gonna say, if it's limited, people want it.
If there's
Yeah.
a name in
Yeah.
front of the brand, if there's any word in front of the manufacturer's name, it's going to be limited. You could have West Side Homie by Adidas Ultra Boost, and people would be stabbing each other.
I would get a West Side Homie Adidas right away. So I like I said, I will try and get them. They come out like while we're recording. It comes out tomorrow morning, I think. So I'm gonna try and get them. If not, whatever.
Big bucks.
Yeah. So let's just move on. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was a shoe that we've talked about before during our Canadian Thanksgiving episode. That was actually fairly successful episode, one of the top downloads that we got.
Oh, nice.
So shout out to all the Canadians that celebrated Thanksgiving with us. Thank you. And this shoe is the Nike Hyperadapt 1.0.
Yeah, 1.0.
1.0. Shockingly, I read the price tag of this shoe yesterday, which was originally how much, Peirre?
$1,000.
$1,000 US.
Yeah.
And my initial reaction was, I was going to stick to what I said before, is that I would try and get them if they cost less than $350, which I thought was already obscene. But this $1,000 price tag, it seems to be, I don't know, an experimental, or why would they price it so high? Does it cost that much to make this thing?
Well, did you know that they changed the price today, right?
Yeah.
They changed the price to $720 according to.
So that's a fucking steal. It's like 25% off.
But still, are you still gonna grab
We
it?
just got to wait another day,
No,
and it's
man.
going to go cheaper again.
I can't do it.
That's
I can't.
math.
$700 is too
Simple
much.
math.
And it seems like this shoe is marketed to the super rich, or who's this for?
The same people who bought the first edition Fuel Band that wasn't very good.
But the Fuel Band is not $1,000.
But
But
also,
it was
I think
a couple
it's,
$100.
A
I don't
couple
think it's going to
hundred,
be
but-
that easy to get, though, right? You
No,
know, so it's-
apparently online will be troublesome.
Yeah.
Retailers going to be troublesome. Like, for you to even try and get this shoe, it's going to be almost impossible unless a run of awesome events happen in your life where it lines up and you can
Stars aligned.
Exactly, but it's not going to happen for me. Even if it did happen for me, I don't know if I would be able to shell out $700 plus.
What you think about the
dollars.
colorways?
Black or white?
Black.
How
Yeah.
fucking
That's why.
yeah.
To me, it's not a $700 shoe. Maybe it's a $700 technology,
yeah.
but you look at it at two things: the shoe and the technology. So
I don't know exactly who's gonna get this shoe. I'm not gonna be running around in them and stuff like.
It'll be like low level. Well, I say low level, but it's not going to be low level. It's going to be fairly affluent, wealthy people, mid level. I'll find a way to quantify this. It's going to be collectors in the beginning, just have it to have
To
it.
have the first one of anything, right?
Basically,
They're
we're talking about a company that, much like Apple and the Apple Watch,
yeah.
they've put out a product that is a solution to a problem that doesn't really exist at the moment.
I guess it's a
Well, I
convenient
think
thing. I
it
guess.
originated from people with disabilities and stuff.
Oh, I
think,
get
to
it.
a
I
certain
completely
degree,
get it. But by large,
But
that's why that
I don't
price
know
tag
if
has
I-
to be there.
If it's covered by like
R&D.
Medicare and I can get prescription for this shoe, that's a little different. But I have back problems because like I've been working like fucking minimum wage labor jobs since like high school, and like I just straight up broke back. Okay, they don't call me broke back just because of all the dick that I suck. Okay, what happened?
Whoa.
But even at that cost, and if it helps me that much to not, I don't even tie my shoelace anyways anymore. I don't think I would be able to get this shoe even for a medical purpose unless I can literally claim it with insurance.
There's better shoes out there right now. I'm pretty sure you can find a Velcro Adidas Superstar or a
how
Velcro
sweet.
Stan, or there's got to be a sweet one-off.
No, man,
Velcro
none
Monarch
like
or
this. You
something
can't
out there
be-
that now
You
has
can't
street
be
cred.
handicapped in style like you can with this Hyperadapt.
I don't know.
So I think this shoe is just for collectors and rich people that want to fucking flex.
Have they solved like
Cinch.
how loud it is?
It's not flexing. They cinch. They're
Oh,
cinching on
I
us.
see what you did there.
But they're also loud. You remember hearing the
People
videos and stuff
love
like
that.
that? It was
People
just
The
like-
videos of the Hyperadapt already? I haven't not seen those.
Well, I think
Well,
originally when
it would be the
Well, I mean, that
No,
video of the
it's like-
mag
The
was
Nike
sounded
mag
like
was
a
pretty loud.
18-wheeler.
But you know how
backing
people
up.
buy like
Yeah.
like motorcycles and they have to be extra
I know.
loud. You know what I mean? You know.
yeah, beeping and
Yeah.
fair enough.
I totally see why this shoe. It's the first, right? So this Hyperadapt 1.0. Are we gonna get this shoe?
Hell yeah!
You're gonna get it?
I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try?
I'll give it a go. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Are you gonna buy it?
I like that.
Have it in
one,
your hand and then cut it up to see how you can make it.
Yeah, it's very possible. It's very possible. I'm curious about it. I want to know, how well it works. What happens to it? I'm just curious.
All of us are curious.
Yeah.
But we're not
Buy
gonna go.
curious.
Yeah, we're not gonna buy to be curious, to satisfy
Well
our
done.
curiosity.
Maybe.
So you're just really interested about the technology behind it.
Yeah,
then,
yeah. I want to see how good it is, how bad it is.
That's the wrong reason to want this shoe, my friend.
Just having the first one. We talked about having that.
Oh, you're one of those.
Just-
Okay.
Yeah, and some of
You
the
just
other
want the
guys
first
from the Decon Recon class were talking about, it'd be cool to, maybe take it apart, put it in something else if it's possible. Like,
crazy.
Put in some Skechers.
yeah,
Yeah, you
shape
do.
ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, investigating like how that's possible, or
Okay.
So who knows?
All right.
It's probably not going to happen.
Are
You know, there's a
It's
dye.
pipe
You know
dream.
that blue glowing light is a dye pack, like a bank.
I think so,
Money
yeah.
bag. The second you
Yeah.
don't lace it properly, it's just gonna explode, and you're gonna look like a Smurf jizzed on your ankles or
Is
something.
that what that is?
Noob cannon.
How about you? How about you, Pierre? Are you gonna get this shoe?
No.
Okay.
I think it's a cool concept. I think it's like Joe said, you don't need to self-lacing shoes, but it's cool.
Oh, I would
you
love
do.
those self-lacing shoes.
You don't lace your shoes. What are you talking about?
You-
You just need
if they-
laceless shoes.
Well,
You just
I
need
don't lace them
flip-flops.
because I don't like to bend
Crocs.
over. To,
Slides,
We all want Crocs.
Gucci slides. Gucci slides.
do you guys wear slides out? Like
Never.
Out.
No.
Ever.
No.
I wear them at home as slippers.
Okay, that's fair enough. But who's gonna see those?
At the
That's the
Why?
point.
Why would I care?
Oh,
That's
okay.
comfort. That's-
But we all seen it, right? Slides. Sometimes with the socks.
The designer slides with white socks.
yeah, or even just like Jordans or Adidas. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
I honestly don't know how the Jordan Hydro slide does so well, because I have seen all of one pair outside of a
I've
store
seen
in
people
my
play
life.
There's gonna be a
basketball.
true
in
blue
those.
one.
That come on.
I've seen it. I'm not saying I agree with that use, but
hooping, hooping in them?
yeah, man.
No.
I don't think it's very safe.
That's
Does it have
just
an air bubble?
casual.
It
What's
has
that?
an air bubble, or
I don't know. It's just a pair of fucking slides with a Jumpman on it. I don't know what they are. I don't know all
Massaging
the.
sole on it.
there's gonna be a true blue one.
They're usually
Colorway.
the Jordan retros. They always come out with a matching slide,
They do.
and sometimes they're pretty fucking tragic.
What do you think about the OVO ones? OVO slides that came out.
White
I was
gold?
tempted to get it just to resell it.
Yeah.
But it was such a high risk. I don't have $100 to fucking experiment with, like to see if it'll resell.
Yeah.
So I just passed on it altogether. Like,
And that's something I don't understand. It's something I could address you guys with. I never got the logic of people who will still pay a premium price for an accessory like that when they strike out on the objective of like the $400 OVO shoes. Like, oh, I can't get the shoes, but the slides are here, or the $60, $80
Consolation.
hats
Yeah,
here.
like,
I'm gonna
come on,
get. I
man.
gotta get that.
Yeah.
So
They don't want to leave it.
you know when
empty-handed.
you know when you go to a bar or club at night.
Oh, don't do
Here
it.
it is. Here it is.
Don't do it.
Here it is.
Okay. But you just don't want to leave empty-handed, and then that.
So Jerry over there looks like a good option, right?
I'm not
So-
predicating anything. I'm just saying.
And the origin of Brokeback Eugene is found.
So I got 3 of those slides. So Joe, you're gonna get this Hyperadapt, even attempt to.
No, I mean, like the release methods that Jay was talking about, it's going to be like invite only or
right.
Nike Plus reservation
Okay.
only, which is as random as it can be.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm on that. And if my name gets called, I'll say
You'll
70,
let me know.
75, 25. Yeah. I mean, if someone really wants to put in work for them for retail, then I'd be willing to do that. But I'd also like to see what outlets like Goat and StockX have for, opening asking prices.
Okay, let's
and
make a
bids.
prediction right now. I'm gonna set the market price at $1,000. Over under.
Over.
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 I'll say 1,500. I bet you it's double retail price.
Okay, so that's our
That's pretty
prediction.
fair.
Over 1,000 after resale. Okay, fair enough. We'll check back in when it's time.
Yep.
The last thing I want to talk about is very local centric. Okay, I think Peirre should tell this story.
Oh, that dude.
So I'll just set up the
Okay.
I'll just set up the backdrop. Okay.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, a very high profile Jordan 1 came out, the black toes. Everybody in town wanted it. A lot of us struck out on the raffle. Luckily, we know a day or two in advance if we're going to strike out on a raffle. So we start pre-planning if we can line up anywhere, or online strategy, whatnot. So a couple of locations in town, very, very few, had first come, first serve lineup, right? So you take it away, Peirre.
Yeah, so I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just me going through the news at that time. First come, first serve at Guildford Center in Surrey,
Yes.
which is a local mall. I would say about 30 minutes away from Vancouver.
About
Yeah, people are lining up, and people were there starting line up at say 7 o'clock. I would say.
before the mall closed, so there's some rules and stuff that made it a little confusing just because the mall wasn't quite closed yet.
So it's the same situation as
As the
happened.
Richmond Center,
yeah.
yes.
Okay. So with that being happening, there was two sets of rules, I guess. One is lining up after hours, and one lining up at the right time.
the right time and location.
Yes. And so there's two lineups that formed. One was the legitimate lineup, and that one was the one outside of the store.
Right outside the store, or just a few doors down.
Yes.
But not to correct you, but to add
Please.
on, technically there's no official lineup because you're not allowed to line up. I'll just throw that in there for
It's a big piece of it.
for our conversation. There's no official lineup because you are not allowed to line up. You're not allowed to be in the mall at that time. Go on.
I actually didn't know that.
Oh, that's standard nowadays.
Yeah.
There's too many liability issues.
Well, that being said, those guys. Well,
But
anyways,
keep on.
Okay,
Go on.
so there are a group of people, a group of like what I said, 20, 30 people that lined up the right way, which is there is no right way, but they lined up
The clean way.
the lineup 2 doors before the store, and then there was a handful of people, I think 5 of them, that lined up using a method which only a handful of people know, which is backdoor. Right, Eugene?
What?
Why are you asking him about backdoor?
Why you said backdoor and you immediately looked at me?
No, because what they did was that at the time that they opened up the line, they rushed through a backdoor
It
area.
was an employee-only access.
Okay.
Go on.
Actually, I don't know after that, dude.
Okay, so this is what I know. There's maybe 30, 40 people already lined up unofficially outside the store where they have agreed upon that would be the official lineup amongst the crowd, not the store, not the security, not the mall.
Okay.
So there's these people that's lined up, and then up to 4 or 6 new lining uppers showed up.
People.
We don't want to assume anything. Okay? We've gotten in trouble before for assuming things. So we're speculating there are 6 people, okay? They came up through a quote-unquote backdoor, or as I understand, an employee access only door. And instead of getting information, they went straight to the front of the line and refused to leave.
So now there's 2 groups of people there. People that have lined up for X amount of hours.
Right.
And then there's these 6 people. That,
Up to 6 people.
Up to 6 people.
I think they're going to play the card where we don't know each other, but
Yeah.
go on.
But only got to line up, say, an hour before.
Maybe a little longer than that. Let's just say 3 or 4 hours after the official, quote unquote, official
Exactly.
line formed.
But knew what to do because they know about this access,
Yes.
this employee access only,
Yeah.
and used that
Yeah.
and stayed and got their pairs.
Yes, actually, they went straight to, a few of them went straight to the front, it seemed, and then they did that thing where, I brought this up because something very magical happened from this, okay?
Yeah, finish it off, Eugene.
I've been in a lot of lineups before where you recognize a lot of people in the lineup, you do a head count, and this phenomenon always happens. Every time you do a head count, you get a different number.
Wow.
The number just keeps growing and growing, and then your spot just keeps going further and further back. Every single time it's been like this. And usually 99.9% of the time, no one really says anything because they don't want to fuck it up and mess up their chance of getting the shoes, even though it means, calling out someone that doesn't deserve to be there. Just because security might be like, all right, I don't care who started, both of you leave. They could do something like that, right? So just in case, we don't want to fuck up our chance of getting the shoes. And what had finally happened was one of the local sneakerheads decided to confront this group of people. And how would you say this confrontation went down?
He just called them out. Just called them out. Nothing, it wasn't verbal.
He
It wasn't
gave 'em-
physical.
He gave him an option not an option, but suggested that they should just move to the back of the line like
Yeah.
they should. And they were appealing their case, saying like, oh, we've been here a while, we're all tired,
Yeah.
this and that, and you just move to the back and like it's all good, like I don't care, just move to the back. And then the first guy did the classic move, the very first guy that was confronted in the video did the classic move where he just looked away, and then all of a sudden fucking the English language just fell out of his head. He pretended that he had no idea what alien language he was speaking. Just turned his back, did that fake rub the back of the neck to ignore you move.
Yeah.
I saw that and I thought that was very cute. And then he went to the next guy. For this guy, we will just...
Oh man, this guy's
for-
awesome.
we don't know his identity for real.
Yeah.
So for now, we'll just call him Ron. Okay?
On Weasley.
I wasn't going to go there, man. You went there. Let's just call him Ron.
Joe and Jason do not condone.
The stereotyping of certain
Yeah.
individuals. Anyways, so the guy with the confronting guy asked Ron to move back, and and
West side, homie.
and at the end of the confrontation, the guy that was asking them to move back decided to spill out that line again.
West side, homie.
I don't know what that was. Why would he spew out West Side Homie to this guy?
Because it's dope and it's gangster and I condone it. He can do whatever he wants.
So if I
Dude.
so if I cut in front of you in a lineup, and then you tell me to move back, and I refuse to, and I'd be like, "Well, I just got here." Like everyone else.
Respect. Respect, Eugene. I will give you a lot of respect for that. A lot of people get mad at him or flame him for all saying all this stuff, especially you.
I didn't do anything.
No,
I
you
was on
didn't.
his
No,
side.
you didn't.
I even gave a good explanation to why he might have said that.
Dude, you made a descriptive.
Maybe a little too descriptive.
Yeah.
Maybe too, you know.
The way I see it, he had all the right to say whatever he wanted to say, and if he wanted to add this as a little cherry on the ice cream, do it.
Cherry on the ice cream. Hashtag
I don't know what
cherry
that
on the
means.
ice cream.
Cherry
So
on the
that was
nice.
him. I don't know. I think, like I said in that little comment I made, maybe his adrenaline was running really
Yeah.
high, and
But that's okay. That was really it, though.
he but come on, man! Like out of everything he could have said, he said that. Like
Dude, he probably loves West Side Connection in the, he listens
the
to a lot
only
of...
problem, it's not that it was threatening. Like I don't know if I would have been scared if he shouted West Side Homie at me, but I have a feeling most people in that lineup are from generally the same region. And you denouncing where you're from is
It
not
doesn't
really
sound
a
like
threat.
it's not an insult.
So I don't know exactly what the point. I just want to bring that up to tell that story. Really, there's really no resolution to this
It's
story
like
at
that
all.
scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin when he's getting his
Go on.
chest waxed.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he yells out, but it's just like
Kelly
random,
Clarkson. So,
random shit that doesn't.
West side, homie.
so I want that to be a regular drop on the show from now
Oh,
on.
it'll be here.
Okay, good,
And
good.
while we're talking about it, Peirre, I don't think you deserve to be sitting in that spot on the couch. So if you could just quickly move to the floor, that'd be great.
West side, homie.
You gotta move. He used the line. So, like I said, there's nothing good or bad out of this story. It's just
Oh, we gotta discuss
Yeah,
this,
look, we
though.
gotta...
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about...
You wanna
the
talk
West-
about
We gotta discuss
okay.
this.
Okay. So when it comes to, okay, I'm gonna get into it now. Technically, okay.
All right.
We've all seen this before. We've all seen this before, right? And
Some closer than others.
and a lot of us have experienced this, since lining up is such a huge integral part of trying to cop shoes nowadays. And I don't know about anywhere else, but in Vancouver we're very polite when it comes to these lineups. Okay, we all line up, we all stick within the 2 or 3 people that we line up with. A lot of times they don't even talk to each other. They just they just do their own thing. They have like their playing cards, they have their headphones
Phones.
on, and phones. And I always bring extra battery, like the booster packs and whatnot, to charge my phone, just so I can avoid talking to people. But if you know me at all, no, it's not like that at all. But if you know me at all, I do always talk to everyone in the lineup, just because I like to talk, and I love hearing my own voice. Don't get me wrong, but
Well, your Grinder app is just blowing up too when you're there.
I go there and it's just buzzing nonstop. That's why I need that extra battery pack.
Wow.
It's
Hey,
Grindr's-
Eugene, where do you want it?
West side, homie.
So when it comes to these lineups, though, like the stores, the mall, the security, they seem to have zero control and zero rules when it comes to the lineups, except, as soon as things get out of hand, they might fucking call the real cops. That's as far as they'll take it. Do we have a problem right now with the formation, the protocol, the procedures of the lineups at the malls?
Yes.
What
This is showing itself to be the flaw.
we talked about this at length a few episodes a few months ago, and I know we came up with a lot of problems and not a lot of solutions. So these major problems and flaws with this procedure, do you think you can come up with a solution to these?
Well, no, we have to kind of discuss what happened here, because this has happened over and over again. I lived this with the Royal One release in 2013. We're seeing it with what happened in Richmond Center for the nefarious Bread One release of 2016.
Well,
it's happening again.
That's the problem.
And keep in mind, it's a dying circumstance. Like, it's happening fewer and fewer times now that places are no longer doing first
And
come,
it's
first
because
serve.
of guys like West Side Homie. Like, there's only so much the malls can do because we can't manage ourselves.
Well, and because they are not responsible and they can't dictate what mall security will do. So in the case of the Royal Ones back in the day, I had, I almost sounded like
Back in
Elmer Fudd right there.
You're excited. It's
back
fine.
in the day, I had verbal confirmation from the store manager that they couldn't do anything about the lineup. They were deferring to security.
Okay.
So you go to security, and I'm not speaking for anyone who, for this instance in Surrey, but you speak to the right people. You get the names to have a confirmation of who you're talking with and who you can, confirm that you've had this conversation with if anyone asks you.
Right.
And they tell you to go somewhere, and you go there, and it actually pays off. There's really nothing anyone else can do. You're the first person in line.
Yeah. But what if Peirre just wants to step right in front of you and say, first, what are you going to do?
That's where you need to have your ducks in a row and have talked to security.
Exactly.
And that's what happened with the Royal One release. I knew the name of the security guy who was on the night shift, who was the shift supervisor, who told me which door to go in to be first in the mall. So when the morning shift came in and the group that was forming the official list of people who were in the unsanctioned area started to talk to the new security guards, I could go to them and say, hey, your supervisor so-and-so said I could go through this door. Does that sound like something he would say? Yeah, unfortunately, it does. So then he addresses the rest of the group and says, he's right. He talked to so-and-so. That was the first door. You guys were in a spot that no one had agreed upon, and it was in our control. There's nothing you guys can do.
So here's what I'm going to do. I want to do an emergency Sneakerphiles Court for this case. What do you guys think?
Sure.
All
Yeah?
right.
We can do this?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Well, it's very short notice, so we have zero planning for this. So a very special episode of the Sneakerphiles Court. Joe, since you're on Ron's side, I'm gonna
No, wait. We need that sounds like the wrong side.
Ron. Okay, we'll just change the name. Ronald. You're on Ronald's side, okay? So you and Peirre,
Yep.
can you help Joe defending he's the defendant.
He's the defendant.
Okay,
yeah.
can you help defend Ronald?
Word.
Okay, so me and Kurtz here, we're going to be the plaintiffs, okay?
Agreed.
So just so that we have a 2-on-2 situation
You
going
guys
on.
already lost.
Come on, man.
Sitch.
So, to this case, okay? I guess I will also have to be the judge since, we have to meet, moderate.
Rigged. This is rigged.
No. We'll decide a fair way to come up with this, okay? The outcome. So, the Sneakerphiles Court is in session.
Mm-hmm.
That's my gavel. So, you are the plaintiff speaking on behalf of Ronald, Mr. Joe. So, tell
I'm the
me...
defendant.
Oh, sorry. Speaking on behalf of the defendant, Ronald. So, on the evening of the Black Toe 1 release, would you like to describe the situation of what had happened?
I spoke to security, hypothetically,
Okay.
and they told me which door was going to have first access into the mall with the understanding that I was going to be lining up for the shoes at the shoe store.
And that's it? And then once you...
I went back to bed.
Once you woke up during this release, what did you do next?
I got up,
Okay.
ate breakfast,
Okay.
took an Ensure,
Okay.
my Flintstone vitamins,
Yeah. All right.
and then got my parents to drive me to the mall.
Now, when it comes to going to bed and stuff, I'm guessing you wear pajamas to bed, right?
I can neither confirm nor deny that pajamas were worn.
But when you left the house, trying to get to this entrance that the security had told you about, did you bother changing out of your pajamas?
I did not.
There's
Can you,
video.
can you describe your pajama pants to the jury? So,
Safe to say.
Pretty good.
so let it
Let the record show.
The force is with him. The force.
that Ronald was indeed wearing Star Wars pajama pants.
Wookie pants.
So once you got into your mom's car in your pajama pants, what proceeded to happen when you got to the location in question?
I stepped out of the car.
All right.
Total park that shit and you'll be right back.
You were feeling good, okay?
He's using the force.
And I knew what my mission was.
And what was your mission?
To secure the black toe ones from the evil Emperor Flocker.
Nike.
Nike.
So you got through that secret entrance that the security has shown you.
It was the garbage disposal.
And then when you got there, what did you see when you got to the storefront?
Nothing. I was alone with my friends.
And how many of your friends were there?
I can neither confirm nor deny the numbers.
And when since you were alone, you got to the front of the line, I suppose, right?
That's correct.
And then how long was it until more people had shown up after you had arrived?
I was too busy
Wow, I see how
being
this is going.
first in line to acknowledge
So
anybody else.
And during the time that you were lining up, did you were you experiencing any confrontation from anyone that was potentially lining up with you?
Well, there were people who were disgruntled behind us
And why were they disgruntled?
because they allege that they had the official line in another location
All right.
and that somehow didn't have the information we did and got in after us.
So there were people that got in after you and then allegedly had confronted you saying that you were indeed not first in line.
That's correct.
Okay. So after all that, were you able to obtain the shoes in question?
I was, but it should be known that my doctor has said I now have post-traumatic stress disorder and I have recurring shell shock nightmares of just...
West side, homie. West side, homie.
So you were under a lot of stress from West Side Homie.
That's correct.
All right. So it seems like all right, let's examine this a little bit. The plaintiff is very certain of himself that he did everything right. He went to the front of the line that security had told him gave him directions to go. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Jason.
Yeah.
You are the
Plaintiff.
Oh, fuck, I'm getting this all mixed up.
That's all right.
You are the plaintiff. What did you see? So Jason, you are now West Side Homie. Okay.
Okay.
West side, homie.
I have to get into
Okay. So
a little
Jason,
bit.
state your name.
Mr. Westside Homie.
Okay, Mr. West Side Homie. What did you tell me about your experience of the night of the Black Toe 1 release?
Well, I arrived to the mall, finding myself, in line, waiting patiently first.
Location?
I believe it was the. I can confirm nor deny my location at the moment. Front of the store of Nike.
Okay. What time was this that you got to the lineup?
10
10
p.m.
10 p.m. 10 p.m. is.
According to the video, you were here until 10 p.m.
Oh, that's I will
my
question you when
conscience.
it's your turn. Okay. I'm talking to Mr.
Order.
West
Oh,
Side.
no, I
Homie.
was just letting him remind
Yeah.
you.
Order.
Order in the
I was
court.
reminding him.
Mr. West Side Homie. So you got there around 10 o'clock. What
10
did you
o'clock.
see when you got there?
I saw no one in line.
And
Just me.
So you were amongst the first to
People
be
to
lining
arrive.
up.
Yes. In front of the
And
store.
while you were there lining up, when did you see the defendant show up?
This would have been a couple hours later.
A couple hours later.
Yeah.
But you were indeed there before any sighting of Mr. Ronald had shown up.
Yes, there was no Ronald
In sight.
in
When you-
sight.
the whole-
Visible.
Okay. And when you had realized that the defendant was attempting to get a better position in line to acquire these shoes, what actions did you take next?
I believe I asked him how he was there, why he was there, describing that he perhaps should go back of the line.
And how did Mr. Ronald take that advice?
I believe there was the nifty head turn followed by back of the head scratch.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's the universal sign for...
Universal sign for
I
no
hear you, but
comprende.
I'm not going to reply.
I don't think he's talking to me. He's talking to me? I don't think he's talking
So
to
at
me.
the end of this confrontation, if you can call it a confrontation, how did you sign
West
off?
side, homie.
I coined a new term, and we've now have it trademarked and available through iTunes.
West side, homie.
So with all this quote unquote
I really wanted to know. I really wanted him to know where I was from.
oh,
West
okay.
side, homie.
Indeed, you're from the west side, homie. And after all of this, were you able to acquire a pair of shoes?
Yeah, I think I was able to.
Okay. If you were to judge, what do you think Mr. Ronald there did wrong?
Didn't ask the right questions. Didn't wear the right outfit. Clearly had no geographical kind of reference point to where
Okay.
he should be, where he was, what he was doing, who he was talking to.
Okay.
Yeah, it was troublesome.
So, defendant have anything to add to that? So, what do you think of him, Mr. Westside Homie have to say about your attempt to take an advantage of the situation?
It all sounds like it's relatively accurate, except for the fact that I was in front of him when we got to the store.
Well, what do you think of Mr. Westside Homie? What do you think of the situation where Ronald here says that he was in fact the first to be officially in the lineup as per security's procedures and protocols?
Well, are we really supposed to be using securities protocols? What protocols are we supposed to be using? Store manager, security. I believe I was there first. And, just strolling up, throwing yourself in front of the store doesn't really mean anything.
Okay, here's what we're going to do next, like in a real court, okay? I'm going to cross-examine Ronald here, and then they get a chance to cross-examine Westside Homie, okay?
All right, yeah.
So, Mr. Ronald, when did you talk to the security about this situation?
Ahead of the release.
And do you know if the store in question and security had an understanding and agreement to the lining up, first come, first serve release procedures? Do you know if they had prearranged protocols for this
You don't have
launch?
to answer that. No, you don't have to answer that.
Oh, I will. I feel the truth needs to be heard. The store had explained to me that they were not responsible for the lineup outside of the mall ahead of the release,
Okay.
and to discuss entry with security. So I did just that, and they told me which door to go in, and I did that, and I was first.
Give him a name, son. Give him a name. Who told you? Who told you?
Security Steve.
Security Steve. My boy Steve.
And was Steve wearing a bike helmet?
He was not.
Okay, so the store allowed you to purchase these shoes because you were following the security's protocols on where you should be entering and where you should line up.
That's correct.
But when you saw that there were multiple people in the lineup when you got there, did you not feel compelled to join the lineup, say, at the back where traditionally that's how a lineup functions?
Once again, the jury should note that I was first in line, and that group of people came in afterwards.
That's a lie. That's a goddamn lie.
How would you feel if someone came in from another entrance that another security had told them to come in from and went in front of you? Would you feel that is justified because he also got the word from another security saying that that is actually the correct entrance to go through?
Well, if I had a microphone to drop, I would say that the proof is in the fact that the store sold me the shoes. Not only this time, but this has happened before.
Oh, so you have budged in front of a line before this release.
It's called precedent, son.
Ooh. Mic drop.
So you think it's okay just because you got away with it once to do it again and again?
You're acting as if it's a crime to have security tell me where I can be and when, and that store sell me the shoes.
I think, okay, it doesn't matter what I think. Because it's a court and, we don't really deal with what we think. We're just basing things on fact. Mm-hmm. What would the protocol be if there were, say, 10 people that wanted this shoe and 10 different security personnel told them to come in from different entries? How would, in your opinion, what would you think is the best way to deal with a situation like that?
The first person who's in line, like myself, gets the shoes.
It seems like your definition of being first in line is different from 40 other people that were there before you.
Well,
so according to you, the timing of you showing up and being a particular position in line is not mutually exclusive. Is that correct?
What you
Answer
said,
the question.
What you said makes no sense.
What's that, homie?
So depending on when you get to, say, the mall or in front of the store, depending on when you get there and how you get in, they are not the same thing, correct?
That's correct.
So, are you saying that depending on where you come in from into the mall, that determines your position in line and not the time of you being at the location designated for the shoe release?
Well, stores don't usually sell shoes in the parking lot, so since I was the first one at the store, approved by security, that's how that played out.
So you don't think that there's already people there in front of the store when you got there? That doesn't mean...
There were no people in the store in front of me when I got there.
Evidence suggests that there were many, many people in front of the store. The evidence in question is the video that there were many, many people in front of the store already when you had shown up, sir.
It's interesting because the video doesn't show anyone in front of me except my dad hat-wearing friend.
Okay, no further questions. Would you like to cross-examine the plaintiff?
No. The defense rests.
All right, so let's deliberate. How are we going to deal with this case? He is... Ronald is very, very...
Weasley.
He's very adamant to think that just because he came in from a certain entrance, that entrance is the right one. So it doesn't matter how you... Any other way of entering the mall doesn't really matter to him. What do you guys think of that?
Backed up and supplemented by a security guy with a name.
Okay. So, like I said before, what if there's like 2 or 3 security that were working and they gave them all different answers of where you can come in? What do you think would happen?
Who has a higher rank?
Okay, so so we're saying that the store from this case, that the store holds no responsibility in letting people know how to line up. It's all based on security?
No.
I think it's communication between security and the store, but since the store said that they are going to let security handle it, all power is now being transferred to security.
Okay. So, Kurtz, what do you think
Yeah.
of
What up?
of Ronald? It's pretty shitty.
Ronald,
though.
Ronald,
He was just
Ronald.
finding loopholes to
Yeah, he was,
gain an advantage.
He was pretty slithery
It's
in
kind
there,
of-
trying to figure it
yeah,
out
you
and
know.
stuff. But yeah, I agree. It's like, he had the information from a security person. Is it the right security person? Who knows? I think the store should have some more power in there rather than just handing it over to someone else completely. But yeah, Ron's Ron's very adamant at his position, that's for sure. So
I understand that he was
but-
very adamant in his position,
I
but
don't agree with it.
I don't agree. But if I don't know, it's one of those
There's
things
got to be a
where
better solution to it. That's all.
just the whole situation being handled this way is just not the best, you know.
Plus, it's like you're preaching about community and stuff like that as well.
Oh, he
It's
doesn't
like-
give a fuck. Come on,
He
Ronald doesn't give a
no,
fuck.
he doesn't give a fuck.
Most
but-
people don't give a
but-
fuck.
But I'm just saying, like it was just so. It just seemed like the 40 people that were at the mall already, they agreed on their position in line, and
They
Yeah.
don't get to choose. That's like saying a mob outside your place here, where I will not release the address.
I know, but
won't make your address here public, where 40 people could potentially wait for you. But if you're offering delicious Taiwanese food out the door of your apartment,
Yeah.
and someone who lives across the hall from you knows this and comes to get it, and there are still 40 people outside, that person is still the first one to get it.
what I know, like what's fact and what not, and what's right and what's wrong. It's usually pretty divisive, but what I'm saying is I'm always encouraging like the community part of sneaker community, that we should all work together and this and that. And it seems like the 40 people that were already there, not including Ronald and his fucking little posse, they had some sort of unspoken agreement on how the lineup should work. And then here comes 6 of these other dudes that decided that, oh no, I have the official word that this is how they do it, so I'm just going to go straight to the front. I understand his position. I'm just saying, is he taking advantage of the other 40 people not being able to do it the way he did it? Like, if
I think at some point the community still needs. Yeah, it's cool to be a community, but it still needs to have a responsibility to have the right information.
I understand,
Right.
I'm not saying that anyone is very black and white, right or wrong. It's just like this is exactly what happens when there's a few of these people that want to take advantage and find loopholes and everything. I'm not saying this is a loophole per se. I'm just saying that he did his homework to find out how he can get away with doing the least amount of work to gain something that he
So
wanted.
then how is that a loophole?
It's not.
Isn't that kind of
smarter than.
I don't want to
than
throw
them.
shade on the community you're talking about, but
Yeah.
someone didn't do their homework. and
I
just
understand. I
decided-
totally understand. Like, just because Ronald and his friends got the shoes because they asked around to see what the right way of doing it is, the unspoken agreed upon procedure that the other 40 guys wanted to apply, they ended up getting burned at the end just because they didn't go through the right channels. And it's one of those situations where like if you do the homework, I guess you do have an advantage, but this is just a very shitty position to be in, because
But while you say that, we've dealt with that over the past few years,
Oh, yeah.
like 4 or 5 years, where people who are legit people in the community,
Right.
who have piped up about, the new people who are, just blatantly called the hype beasts,
Yeah.
who don't do their homework.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of somewhat hypocritical tune that,
Oh, yeah.
giving credit to those guys who were in line who got shafted, if they are, the decent ones in the community, to have not done their homework.
I'll just put it this
kind
way.
of the other side of the
I
coin.
guess it's fair to say Ronald and his friends didn't do anything wrong, okay? But you got to be a special type of person to be able to pull that shit off and not feel bad about yourself. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Is that fair?
No.
Oh my God, Joe, come on.
But why would you as a consumer, let alone someone in a sneaker community or any type of collecting community, why would you feel bad about doing what a store sanctions to buy their goods?
It's hard to say for this situation just because
And that's just it. If this were an isolated incident, the only reason why I even have somewhat of a hard line on this, and no disrespect to any of the people involved here, but that it had been confirmed by both sides, that this isn't the first time that this has happened.
it's happened to me many
No,
times.
and I mean, no, that this isn't the first time that this happened between these people, these same
Yes.
people. I think it was a shattered backboard or the reverse shattered
reverse,
It
backboard.
happened last weekend. They did
The
the same
weekend or
thing.
two.
And the
before.
store okayed it. That's where it's like, okay, well, if the retailer is going to let them purchase the shoes and they've completely deferred to security, security's got the keys to the building. You go talk to the person who lets you in the building.
Going forward, do you think it should be handled the same way there on out, or
No, I mean, you need as we saw, we saw with the 2016 Bread 1 release at Richmond Center,
Yeah.
there were hard lines taken where that lineup needed to be.
Yeah.
And
But they
still
kind of
people-
flip-flopped on the
but,
rules, though.
But there are still things that people can do to fuck it up by lining up 7 weeks in advance for that release and forcing, setting up a shanty town there and forcing security
I think
to
they
do
were
something
lined up for
about
the
it.
2013s and they just stayed in line until 2016. I think that's what happened. But quickly, Kurtz,
Yep.
whose side are you on? Hard side. You don't. Oh, yeah. you can't be in the middle.
Joe argues a good case, but at the same time, fuck.
Okay, Peirre, whose side are you
That's
on?
about it.
It is. It's tough. It's like I thought he was just jumping the fucking line and didn't go to security. Then I'd be like, fuck
No.
you, go.
Well,
But-
there'd be a little more than
West Side, homie.
Yeah, but if he's done his homework, then it was like, yeah.
How about you, Peirre? Whose side are you on?
I think in this situation, I think I'm on West Side Homie's side. Because
Yeah.
from what I know from the story is that they were both given different
Information? Okay.
right?
And I know where Joe's coming from.
Yeah.
I think I'm on West Side Homie's side just because, I don't know, that is the responsible thing to do in a community situation is
Yeah.
to work out at the moment the differences and disagreements upon what you've been told, right? They've probably been told 2 different sets of information and they were not able to hash it out.
Yeah.
And chances are...
But couldn't you get security there to clarify that in the situation? Like
They don't want to stir anything up just in case security kicks everyone out. I'm guessing that's what happened.
I'd agree with that.
So I just think they want to keep it as low key as possible at the moment and just pray that there's enough pairs. That's what I think happened.
I think the difference between Joe, and these guys doing the
Yeah.
same situation is that I think if Joe was going to line up and do this, I think he would have done his homework. He would have talked to the right people.
Yeah.
He would wrote the names down, maybe
Yeah.
even a letter, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, these guys just knew that there's a back alleyway that you can just go when they let you in.
Backside.
Backside, and those
Backside
guys
only.
were lining
Back
up
way
until
Okay.
10. and they just
I
got called
understand.
out.
Like they just got different information, but
Yeah.
just one group just happened to get the information like that was bigger than the other group. That's
Yeah.
all.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to take a side, but if I force myself to, I would take the bigger groups aside just
Yeah.
because majority of them they tried to do the right thing, and the other guys tried to take advantage. That's the only difference between who did what right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
better catchphrase.
So West Side Homie is pretty catchy.
it is good. It's good.
So that's enough. So we're exactly divided on the situation. It seems like two for Ron and 2 for West Side Homie. So
West Side.
let's just say it's a wash. Let's just hope it doesn't happen again.
I agree.
Agree?
Yes, I do.
Let's turn West Side Homie into something of love and kindness.
I
West Side, homie.
I have nothing but love for West Side Homie. In fact, every day I would have to comment on a Facebook post saying West Side Homie. I bump all my posts with West Side Homie. But on to more happy topics, okay? I don't know if I know Peirre has, but Joe and Kurtz, have you ever been to a sneaker convention before?
I have.
Yes.
And what do you think of that environment? Do you think it's a place where people go and try and look fly and slay their outfits? Or do you think it's an actual gathering of people of similar interests so that we can, get to know each other? Like, which side of that locally in Vancouver do you think is more apparent?
Oh, I would say, well, I think it's, for me, I've gone as a vendor as well as just a patron. And I think that kind of differs it a little bit.
Yeah.
But on average, I think people are going to stunt and to show off shit. And
And I actually like that kind of
and-
environment. if you
Sure,
ask me.
yeah.
Because you get to see, but here's the problem: when you have a convention close to a particular day, you will see a lot of the same shoes. The last one I went to, I think it was like 45% Adidas Yeezys, and it's come to a point where when people are saying like, "Oh, Yeezys are so expensive, they're so rare," I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Every other shoe for sale is an Adidas Yeezy. You know what I mean? But I love sneaker conventions. It's a lot of times it's where I go to buy some ridiculous steals, stuff that people overlook because there's a lot of kids there that don't know the history of the sneaker culture, and they pass up on a lot of dope stuff that I just swoop in to get. So, Joe, what do you think of the sneaker convention scene in Vancouver?
It's growing,
Yeah,
which is
man.
really good.
It's usually at least a few hundred in attendance, right?
Yeah.
And Pierre, what do you guys what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's growing too. I just started going to sneaker conventions last year.
Yeah.
And as I've been to 3, and it's been growing exponentially.
So
to
when
be
you
honest.
guys go, do you plan on buying stuff? Like, do you come out with cash ready?
I do come up with cash just in case, because you'll never know
Okay.
what you'll see.
Okay.
I always kind of look to buy anyways,
Yeah.
right?
You're always looking to buy. And when there's
Yeah.
something that's just too good
Yeah.
to pass up, like that's when you pounce on it because you don't know what you're going to get.
You'll probably have a list, right? Because
Right.
you know, and we'll probably talk about this, like just tips on how to survive and stuff
All
like
right.
that. But
So let's do that right now. Let's talk about if anyone out there is planning on going to a sneaker convention. We can come up with some tips. Let's just call this the Sneaker Convention Survival Guide. So
nice.
right off the bat, I'll just throw out a few pointers. If you're looking to buy, okay, first of all, you need to make a list of the shoes you want.
Yeah.
And secondly, the most important part is to manifest a budget on each of the shoes and what you want to spend. I think that's one of the most important things to be successful in buying sneakers.
But something that goes hand in hand with that is also the knowledge of that sneaker and the going,
Market
resale
value?
or market value.
Yeah, that's why you
all
need to set the budget
research.
accordingly. Just
Yeah.
because you have $1,000 in your bank account doesn't
Yeah.
mean you want to spend all of that on one shoe, right? Especially if it's not worth $1,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I mean. Do your homework. Find out what shoes you want and find out how much money you should and want to spend on it. For instance, I'll just tell this very quick story that happened to me at one of the first local ones here in Vancouver. It's that the 2013 bred ones. At that time, it was already skyrocketing in the resale price. So this guy walks up. He had a pair in his hand. You know, like sometimes there's vendors, there's tables, right? And then sometimes there's just guys with like 1 or 2 pairs in his hands walking around trying to hawk it. And this guy walked up to me asking if I wanted to buy a pair of the bred ones, the 2013s. And I'm like, yeah, of course. How much? And then he's like, $270. I'm like, $270. I'm like, well, they're worth $450 right now, and he wants to sell it for $270. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And then I walked away for a second, and then I came back, and then he was, oh, I'm dealing with this other guy right now. Sorry, you took like a minute too long. And then the other guy was trying to bargain with him. He's like, I'll do it for $250. I'll do it for $250. And I'm like, I'll give you $270 right now. I know what it's worth. So I gave him the $270, and the guy that was gonna give him $250, he's like, fuck, I was just about to offer him the $270 he asked for. And because he wanted to save that $20,
Yeah.
like he ended up missing out on this pair. So if you have a budget in mind, like if I'm like, okay, I'll spend up to $350, and the guy offered $270, of course I would just buy it because it's under my budget.
Yep.
So that's just one quick story that that can lead to people just being more conscious. Like just because a shoe is out for sale, that doesn't mean, usually they're pretty high prices. But if you hear something that's reasonable and it's in your budget, just do it. Don't negotiate because you will lose that pair. Any tips from you guys?
I would probably start off with maybe bringing $500.
Yeah, and give it directly to Peirre.
No, like that would probably be a good start off. Like you can either do like 2 decent shoes, or go 1 heat for $50 or something like that. That's probably my budget.
Okay, but
Pony hair.
you want some pony hair? So it's like, I guess you have to have a budget. That's the most important part. Know what you can afford, and know what things are worth. That's what I wanted to get at. Is it's all about spending money, right?
Yeah.
And if the more you have, the easier it is to negotiate.
True.
But I think that you need to be very conscious of how you spend that money while you're there, because you're. Here's another little tip: is a lot of times at the end of the event, people that are packing up, they don't want to take everything back,
Yeah.
and that's
Better
when
deals.
you negotiating power just goes up a little bit.
There's your bar analogy for not leaving empty-handed.
Never walk home
Yeah.
empty-handed.
Never.
But if things don't show up in your budget or the shoes that you want, don't force yourself to buy something that you're going to try and resell a week later. That's all.
That's a good tip too.
And know your size, please. Bring cash. And I think that we need to be I don't know, like, just because of here, what do you guys think of this? A pair of shoes is a really, really good deal. Let's just say a brand new pair of Bred ones that just came out. Some guy's selling it for like $350, which is below market price, but they're not your size. Now there's these motherfuckers that will go and buy it because it's a good price to resell it. What do you think of that?
His name is Eugene.
Do whatever you want. dude.
Yeah,
Of course they
you can
can.
buy whatever you
Yeah.
want and do whatever
Yeah.
you want with it.
I
Yeah.
know. Fuck, I hate it when people say that. They're your shoes, they're your money, do whatever you want.
I bet Ron would.
Ronald
would do that.
What if we see Ronald there? Would you guys confront Ronald if you see him at the convention?
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I would just say what's up.
I would say West Side
You'd say
Homie.
West Side Homie, exactly.
So any more little tips you want to give for people at the sneaker conventions?
When you're negotiating, just, be kind with it. You're engaging with people that love the same thing. You're building and fostering a community. If it's your first time going, bring a buddy. Don't be shy. Get in there and chat with people.
Hold hands while you cross
Hold
the
hands.
street.
Do whatever. Skip.
Yeah,
Bring a
exactly.
buddy, what the
Yeah. Skip
Whatever
in.
you got to do. Just getting in there and chatting with people and having conversation. Like it's supposed to be a fun, entertaining place.
I think these conventions are a great
and-
place for you to build some sort of rapport
Yeah.
with people.
I think so.
And
Yeah.
throw your name out there a little bit, get
Yep.
a lot of contacts, shop around, see which table has most of your sizes. Chances are you want to make a deal with them later.
And a lot of those vendors have been there multiple times.
Yeah.
So it's not like their first time. They'll be gentle.
Gentle.
You know, one thing that I
Maybe.
thought was really cool when I first when I first went to my first convention is when kids or guys would have their shoes, the boxes of the shoes, and then they'd have one of the pairs open up.
Yeah.
And that's how you trade, or that's how you sell, that's how
Yeah.
you advertise. I thought that was really cool. I guess it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
that was kind of cool.
What
So
a-
if
nice.
It's
if
like
you
the
want
street vendor of the. Well, okay, they're vendors at
They
a
are,
convention,
yeah.
but they're the street vendor. Of
They're
the
on
shoe.
foot
Yeah.
vendors.
yeah,
But
it's just it's
Japa
a
dog
cute,
of.
cool way. So.
I think it's awesome place for you to like get to know people because a lot of these people that go to your local sneaker conventions, they are the same people that you talk to, like the faceless people that you talk to online, people that ask you like if you have a pair or how much you think these are worth, and we all engage with the same amount or the same group of people when it comes to these things, and I think it's a great place to put a face to these people online. I always try and talk to as many people as I can when I go to these things, and I meet some awesome people there, and some of them are just there to spend money. They kind of keep to themselves, but the people that will stop and talk to you, they're like always awesome people, and it's just a awesome way to like build some sort of rapport, get your name out there, and anyone that wants to be more out there in the sneaker community, you should definitely show up to one of these things and just check. Even if you don't plan on spending any money, you can probably get some names, get some contact, and make a deal later on, right?
I hate to be the old man here and the stick in the mud, but it needs to be a reminder to people there that if you're making a cash deal with someone for these shoes, the old saying buyer beware comes in, because once you get that pair home and if they disintegrate the first time you strap them on, that's on you. And it's so easy to put even, grab a napkin, grab a flyer or something. You can, screenshot a receipt
Right.
for proof of the transaction, and can't guarantee you what that'll get you if you actually buy something expensive enough to get into the actual small claims court, if it were to get that way. But you don't have, you're.
But as much
people are
record as possible of you making that
people
transaction.
are willing
would
to,
be-
someone's going to be walking there with a couple $1,000s trying
Yeah.
to get a steal on the first Yeezy 750. It won't be me, but
I hope you do get
and
some
these
Yeezys.
people, people will have to have paperwork to buy a car for $500, and people will just go throw $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 cash
That's
on
true.
a shoe and walk away with no rights whatsoever.
So what do you think
just-
about people that buy shoes at these conventions? Are there are their hands washed clean after the thing? Like, that's it? The deal is done? You can't go back if there's any problems?
I saw it at one a couple of years ago where it was a Jordan 5. I think it was the Laney. And it was fake. And someone bought it, and the kid didn't know it was fake, sold it to someone else. I've seen them negotiating like the whole day, going back and forth. Finally sold. End of the show. realized it was fake, tracked down the guy, got his money back, and it was a good, like they really tried to figure out whether the shoe was real or not. And then they worked something out, and he got his money back, and so there was some good resolution there. But like you were saying, like what happens if you already leave?
Yeah.
And you come back, well, what's your recourse? So you don't really have much. I mean, you need to be able to, and nowadays the fakes are getting better and better.
Yeah.
So you really need to do your homework.
You should
and
get
figure
second,
out,
third opinions on a shoe. Just because it looks good doesn't mean, there are some liability issues.
Well, and if you already know that this shoe that, there's some shoes that you want, you need to do that homework beforehand and really kind of like spot the obvious things and you can only do so much at that point, right?
So as a vendor, if you're a vendor, do you have any tips to be a vendor since you've done it before?
Well, from like a vendor standpoint, or from
a
like
vendor
a person
standpoint.
going and meeting people that
like
are
a vendor.
I think you need to be, because it's a long day. So if you're going by yourself, you need to find someone that can, watch your table. If you got to go to the washroom, get something to eat, get a drink, whatever. Or if you want to go and check stuff out. So most times I would try to get, a buddy to come along, split the table or whatever, get another table, and just have someone help me out so that, you can go and walk around, check stuff out, chat with other people. But, most of the other people that I've met there have been lucky enough to be next to. Yeah. If I didn't have someone, they'd watch the table. It was pretty cool. So
I've done the vendor thing before. I had like a shit ton of stuff I wanted to sell. I think the most important thing to be a vendor is you always try and get help if you can. Yeah. Like one person in manning a table is not fun. No. Like you miss out on a lot of stuff going on. You miss out on opportunities to buy shoes for yourself, and you just need extra help for security reasons, if anything else, like someone to keep an eye on the cash, on your products or whatnot. Another thing that I would like to talk about is when you're a vendor, always price your things accordingly. If you have a table full of heat, but everything is like ridiculously expensive, even in the resale market price range, then chances are people are just going to come and look at your shoes and not do anything. Yeah. Set a price that you want to list, and always have a bottom line price that you're willing to negotiate with, and just stay firm with it. If you have a shoe listed for $300 and your bottom line is $250, don't entertain anyone that's too far off your price, because you're not going to get anywhere. Just don't waste your time. And and again, like, meet a lot of people, like, talk to people.
Engage
exactly.
In
Chances
chat with people.
If you're interested in a shoe that I'm trying to sell, if I talk to you long enough, you should be able to make that sale. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Peirre is a professional seller. Do you have any tips?
If you're just nice to somebody, there's always a way that you can get a better deal. Yeah. Right? If you're a dick to someone, then you're not. Really. I mean, there's no secrets to it. Just be nice to them. Just be engaging, like you guys said. So
I think just overall be friendly, but be yourself kind of deal. I know it's kind of corny, but I think the way you represent yourself in this community is really, really important. And if you're going to be a dick, then you're going to be known as that guy, right? Yeah. Like, we have a few dicks in the local groups, and we all can point them out and whatnot, and people choose not to do any transactions with them just because they're so hard to deal with. Yeah. And those people kind of do burn their own bridge kind of deal. Like, I've come across like a dick a lot of times, but, in somewhat of an acceptable fashion to some. I think whether or not we spend any money there, you should just go and experience it. See shoes that you don't normally see. Educate yourself on the environment, and get to know people
and the community. Yeah, get to know everybody in the community.
Yeah,
right. More size 12. Damn it!
You know what? The locally, all the bigger sizes are selling a lot better than they used to. I think it's just Joe buying them all up.
It's the threat of me going to buy them. They're down.
Here's something that was funny. The what do you call those? Those blue Jordan 12s that came out last weekend. Those suede ones. Deep Royal 12s. Apparently, a lot of the stores had full double size runs or whatever, and the only ones that sold out was like 10.5 and above. The smaller sizes slept for once. I don't know what's going on now.
No pony hair. For Peirre.
That's size 8 is safe because no one wants it because there's no pony hair. So it just seems like like I love these sneaker conventions. They're super hectic. We try. I know this is so superficial, but we try not to step on each other's shoes. But you will be in a crowd of people.
True.
But we are usually very self-conscious about our shoes. Like, if you guys were to go, would you guys wear like heat, like stuff that's worth a lot of money, or would you wear stuff that people haven't seen before or they rarely see?
Unique.
Unique?
Not necessarily
Like a
expensive.
custom?
Yeah, possibly a custom. And, if I'm doing vending, then obviously I'll have those there. But yeah, something unique, something maybe different, something obscure. Probably not something super expensive.
Right.
I don't want to get jacked.
No one's gonna. All right.
Nothing is gonna happen.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just probably try to be, something different.
Right.
There's probably gonna be a lot of Yeezys there.
Oh my god.
You know, anything that was just recently released is probably going to be on people's feet. So,
All right.
That's the same strategy that I would do, and I've been doing it for like 3 cons now.
Yeah.
Do something that no one's gonna see. Bring something out that I have that people probably won't have, and that I can strike up a conversation with them.
Yeah.
That's
what I did the last time. Like, I have quite a bit of shoes, and usually if I wear a pair of shoes, it's something that everyone has seen or they already have a pair of. That's kind of boring. Like, it's fine when I'm trying to fucking slay my outfit, but on the weekend. But when I go to a con and when I'm trying to quote unquote impress people, I will break out something that there's a story behind or someone I can fucking low key educate people on.
Yeah.
So the last time I broke out my pair of Questlove Nike Dunk Highs.
Oh, nice.
Just because they were not the hardest to get. I lined up for like an hour and I was the first in line and shit. And I was able to get them, but I have never ever seen anyone else wear them locally ever. So just something like that that's unique and something that people don't usually see. Like people will be like, "Oh, look, you got Yeezys," but like, look around, dude. Everyone's wearing Yeezys.
The last con that I had, I was wearing the 16s.
See, I doubt that there's anyone wearing 16s.
Yeah. But now they're releasing again, and so you
feel shit.
Well,
you had your day.
I don't know. I want to buy them again.
They're going to be a steep price tag.
Really?
Yeah, I bet you.
Do they come in like a briefcase?
American. I don't think they're doing that anymore. No.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
So what about you, Joe? Would you wear something to fit in or stand out?
Joe's a connoisseur. I already know this.
It's true OG though.
Yeah.
People are like, I got bread ones. OG bread ones.
No, I don't have that. No. I might haul something out from
the bottom
early
of the stack.
early 2000s. Yeah, I'll just go find something that I didn't even remember I had and break it out.
See, I'm bringing all this up, this sneaker convention talk, because we've all experienced it. We all love it, and if we had a chance, we would go again, right? Mm-hmm. But here's why. The specific reason why I brought this up is that there is a group of people over on the East Coast. They go by the Soul Exchange Canada. Have you guys heard of the Soul Exchange Canada?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of like a touring snooker. They're kind of a touring sneaker convention that goes all across Canada. And they are actually setting up shop locally in Vancouver in December. They're calling it the Ultimate Sneaker Show Holiday 2016 Kickoff. And it's going to be at the Vancouver.
That's every buzzword. Any sneaker convention after that
just
just might as well be lamest sneaker show.
It's just the same. It's just missing some hashtags.
Yeah.
It's going to be happening on Saturday, December 16th. Should I leave that part?
No, actually, the only thing missing from that sneaker convention name would be. Can you read it again?
It's the Ultimate Sneaker Show Holiday 2016 Kickoff.
That's all that's missing.
If you can actually write air horn in there somewhere, that'd be great. It's happening Saturday, December 17th of 2016 at the Vancouver Convention Center.
That's a big one.
The convention center is no joke, man. It's a big deal.
We got convention money now?
Fuck. The convention's being held at a convention center. Wow. Go figure.
No church basements?
Let's not throw shade in anyone's way.
No, I'm just saying.
But this one, like, it's a big venue. That's where
it's a real deal.
Yeah, exactly. That's where all the big stuff happens, right? And would you guys go if you had a chance?
Yeah.
Do you know where our convention center is?
It's in downtown Vancouver.
West side, homie.
So in the west side, and it's going to be on a Saturday, close to Christmas. So I feel sorry for anyone that goes that plan on buying Christmas gifts for everyone. I don't think it's gonna happen that way. But the reason why I brought this up is because the Sneakerphiles podcast has actually been invited to attend this, and what I thought of doing is doing a live recording from the convention floor. What do you guys think of that?
What?
It's never been done before.
Not by us, anyway.
I'm kidding. Gotcha.
So I want to, throughout the upcoming weeks, I want to start implementing some games, some topics that we can talk about. We have a whole month to talk about this, and what I want to play is like, we're gonna write a number down and put it in an envelope, okay? And the number that I want you to come up with is how many pair of Adidas Yeezys we're gonna see on the show floor.
Oh.
Like, I'm gonna send one of you to count everyone's Yeezys, and then we're gonna guess the closest without going over. Price is Right style. Okay.
Let them come to the table and just.
Okay. Yeah, I want.
Massive
I'm actually.
picture.
Anyone listening that plans on going to this sneaker convention in December, I want everyone to find our table, come up, and then maybe you get a minute or two on the mic, and then we'll just work everything in and just make it a very interactive show for the day.
Nice.
We'll play some games. We'll do something like, if you bought a pair of shoes, come up to the table and tell us what it is, and we'll have to guess closest
like
to
the
how.
Antique Roadshow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You pay too much.
We'll do some.
Or we can get people to bring in what they think is going to be unique and,
yes.
and heat,
Oh.
and then we can crush their dreams.
The left is fake, but the right is authentic. It's odd.
I'm sorry, but your air gagas are not cool.
Can you confirm Shaq's penis has been in this shoe?
So it's just, I want to make it as interactive as possible, as fun as possible. It's going to be one of those throwaway episodes that we do once in a while that we don't get too involved or too serious about anything. It's just for us to go there, attend this thing, and I don't know, fucking get in, and maybe we'll do some shopping of our own and have some show and tell. And hopefully there'll be enough people that listen to this to go there and come say hi.
Nice.
Well, we'll be there shaking hands, kissing babies, and
Licking shoes.
actually Peirre's going to be kissing the babies on the lips. It's weird.
Whoa.
What?
I'm out. Good night.
Anyways, I just want us to be able to interact with some of our listeners. And in fact, the Soul Exchange offered us a chance to give back to our listeners a little bit.
Oh.
So if you plan on going to the Ultimate Sneaker Show Holiday 2016 kickoff on Saturday, December the 17th at the Vancouver Convention Center, just go to the website, theultimatesneakershow.com. Get your tickets, and you can use this password for $5 off your entrance, okay? Just from the Sneakerphiles podcast. Just type in podcast. So your secret password. Come on, guys. What the fuck is so funny about that?
Wow. Big lead up to that reveal.
So if
Is
you-
your computer password 123456, or is it password or admin?
It's actually password 123456. So if you want to get $5 off your entrance to the Ultimate Sneaker Show Holiday 2016 kickoff, there's not enough words in that. Just make sure you get your tickets online. Use password podcast and get $5 off.
That's
just
amazing.
Just from us, the Sneakerphiles podcast is giving you $5 off. Okay,
Nice.
so everyone that use the password, come to our table, say hi, let's sit down. Jason will get out of the way so you can use his mic. You can talk
Sure,
to him.
yeah, fine.
We'll
And
share.
then I can go walk around.
And
spend
while
money.
you're doing the podcast with us, he's gonna rub your back, okay?
No,
And-
I'm not. I'm going to spend money.
And Pierre's gonna rub his front.
I don't like this. I don't
I
like this
know.
deal.
What are we? This
I
isn't a
don't like this
you
deal.
know this is the taboo sex show, really.
Yeah,
We're gonna show
we're not
up
even
and just
going
pull the curtain.
Convention.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna.
Eugene, why are you in a gimp suit again?
Ball gag. You're just like, no, get back in your trunk.
But
Where's my
leather.
size 12?
so everyone that's listening, come on out to this awesome event, this Vancouver Convention
It's
Center,
not
man.
awesome. It's ultimate.
Okay, the ultimate sneaker convention.
No one
Like,
plays awesome frisbee.
wow, you went there. So come on out. Password podcast. We're gonna do a live podcast there. Hopefully, we'll meet a lot of our listeners. And for anyone that wants to get some airtime, just have an interesting story, bring some interesting shoes, and then we'll make something. We're going to make a game out of it, or we're going to fucking talk about it a little bit. But I just want to, I don't know, I just want to meet our listeners for once, you know? Like, no one gets to talk back at me. So it's just us talking all the time. And it would be nice to put a face to some of our listeners, you know what I mean? So
Nice.
Would you guys care to go? Is it just me by myself? Are you guys going to go?
Well, if you keep the ball gag at home,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I left at your house last week. Remember, Joe? What?
Whoa.
I'm out.
That's why he was away for a week.
He was still chained up in his basement.
Can we get back to shoes?
Okay.
Jesus, your children.
You guys have a month. Don't tell me what it is. You guys have a month to come up with what you're going to wear to the convention, okay? Let's try and...
Break each other's necks.
Great. Are we gonna do that? Are we gonna have a little competition?
Whoa, Joe.
No.
Whoa, why
No,
not?
I'm going to bring something I like.
Crocs, right?
Gucci slides?
No Gucci
Or
slides.
how about we just get matching Skechers and we'll just call it a day?
Yo, why can't we match shoes?
Because that's.
Because we don't all.
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say because that's too ultimate. Even for me,
It is legit, though.
we can go that route, or we can try and one up each other.
Fair enough.
We have a
Okay,
whole
you know
month to
what?
decide.
We got a month to do this.
Yeah.
I don't like spending people's money. I just thought it'd be a cool idea. Budget of $50 American dollars, shipping all in.
Yeah.
Find something on eBay that is going to be ridiculous.
ridiculously good.
You decide.
All right.
It could be
what do you guys
sick
think?
or basic.
You guys like that?
So we
Or thrift stores. I mean, the
Oh, yeah.
Sports Exchange on Broadway
I
or
like that
Sports
challenge.
Junkie or
I'll
whatever
take
it
that.
is.
I'll take
50
that.
all
Value
in.
yeah,
Village.
because you're gonna customize it to
Yeah,
something
fuck
sweet.
that.
No, it has to be. It has to be as you're
As is.
Okay.
Doesn't
So-
matter the condition.
So can I just
It's
pick a
just
pair
as
from my
is.
rack and pay myself $50?
No.
What?
No.
Okay.
We need receipts.
We need receipts
Yeah.
and photos.
Wow.
Receipts or a
Okay.
screenshot of the transaction.
50 US all in.
Yeah.
what is
Actually, let's extend this to the listeners. If they're willing to show up with some $50 swag from a thrift store or from eBay or whatever that you can find, I'd like to see that.
That'd be
Okay.
cool.
That's another
That's
challenge to
good.
our
That's a
listeners.
good challenge.
I'm thinking of a hashtag. You guys keep discussing. I'll think of a hashtag for that.
Hashtag broke boy.
Too close to your bro pack.
It's just one time. Doesn't count. We'll think of something. Joe is the brains behind this operation. So he'll
Hashtag $50 swag.
$50 hype.
do you think our listeners know how to spell all that? See, then they'll be like, is that $50 spelt out or is that numbers? It's technical.
Not if you put
Well,
DOLLA. Wow. And then you spell fitty.
Fitty.
$50.
So
Oh,
$50 challenge.
$50 is less.
$50. I sound like my mom.
Or put hype at the end, yo. $50 hype.
Okay, let's explore that.
Ultimate $50
Let's
challenge.
let's
Kick
explore
off.
that off air. We're spending too much time on coming in with a fucking hashtag. But let's
Finally, I'm contributing right now.
just throughout the next few episodes, we're going to implement more and more games and challenges. Hopefully, everyone listening will participate and let us know. Come find us at our table, and that's December 17th in the Vancouver Convention Center. Go online, theultimatesneakershow.com, and apply the password podcast. Get $5 off on your entrance. Come by, and then we will chat with you. And if you care enough to be on the actual podcast, we'll make something work. Just make sure you got something interesting to say and you have an interesting story.
How about a password to be eligible for being on air? And my
okay.
suggestion would be
West side, homie.
Okay, just come to our table and repeat that phrase.
That's the secret one.
Repeat that phrase, and then we will work you on the air somehow. Okay, how about that? So we all happy with that?
Yes.
So
Nice.
you're looking forward to this thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you guys all have to go back and think of some things we can talk about on this
No
special live recording, and then we'll work out some games
That
and
antique
challenges.
roadshow thing, that's kind of cool. So,
Yeah, man, that's Joe.
yeah.
So we'll work something out. Make sure that it's nice and interactive for everyone. Okay?
Dope.
Dope.
legit.
It's so clean.
Ring the fucking
Hey.
bell.
There. Okay, I just wanted to ring the bell.
We're going to bring that back.
We'll bring the bell with us. Okay.
I'm going to.
We're already bringing back clean after ring the bell. I said it. We're bringing it back even though it left
If the
an hour and a half ago.
listeners will want it back.
Fair enough. I have no problems with that. So for the Sneakerphiles podcast, I'm your host, Eugene.
I'm Jason.
This is Peirre.
West side, homie.
Joe.
Happy hunting.